welcome back everyone for a table reading Cobra Kai Season 6 Watch Party! Well, Tudum came and went, which may come as a shock to you if you're like most people and never heard of the thing. Basically, Tudum is Netflix's way of promoting their shows and movies. They decided they don't want to do reveals at Comic-Con and similar events. Oh no, those events have all the networks and all the studios pitching their projects. Netflix wants to be a universe unto itself and have all their shows at their own event, thus gave rise to Tudum, Netflix's Comic-Con replacement. It's normally a disappointment as they tease news for shows that really amounts to nothing. That said, this year turned out to be a bit of a surprise as far as Cobra Kai is concerned, at least for me. The key is to have massively low expectations, which history shows is very rational. That way, it's either exactly what you expected, or you're pleasantly surprised. Anyway, you're here for Cobra Kai. What'd they show? Well, it was a short video of the cast reuniting for a table read of the first episode of Season 6. This happened on April 27th, which from the calendar would have been 4 days before they went into production on the episode. Everyone was happy and smiling and hugging one another. Oh look, Jacob was late. That takes up like a third of the video. I think the broader purpose of this is the marketing team was recording the read-through for the final season. A lot of shows and networks do this. They did it for Game of Thrones, they did it for Breaking Bad. You'll probably see this read-through again in some special features or something after the show finishes. Apparently, some people like that stuff. Good for them. I don't. I mean, that is, I don't dislike it, but seriously, I'm here for the show, the story. All the behind-the-scenes happiness or silliness or whatever is off my radar. This is why I don't do interviews, I don't really care. But what did we get? It's episode 1 of Season 6. There has to be something there. Well, not much. Gianni flashed the script, titled To Be Determined. It's worth noting that Hayden, who was in the chat during my live stream, confirmed that's not the title. Well, duh. Thank you, Hayden. Honestly, it would have been nicer if they gave us the title. They didn't before. It's sort of a common thing, but no, it's just To Be Determined. Now, before we go any further, there's another important piece of info on this page. That is the writer for episode 1, Bob Dearden. Why does that matter? Because Bob has a pet dog. No, Bob joined the writing team in season 3 and from then on has been the sorta climactic heavy hitter writer. He has written episodes 5 and 10 of each of seasons 3, 4, and 5. All these big moments, all these climactic resolutions, John, Josh, and Hayden entrusted them to Bob Dearden, and he has always delivered. But wait, now he's writing episode 1. What happened? Why the change? What does it all mean? Let me explain. The writers' room works together for all the story beats and plot, and sometimes even individual jokes and lines. That's the process, and they take about a week for each episode. After they get all that together, one of the writers will ultimately go away and write the actual script. That's assigned by the showrunner, here being John, Josh, and Hayden. But how do they assign the episodes? Well, there is a little bit of seniority first. The writers who have been there longer can essentially call dibs on a story they want to write. Also, the showrunners will assign episodes based on what they perceive to be individual talents. This is certainly why Bob has been writing episodes 5 and 10 for so long. He's good at those episodes, and they want him to keep it up. While it's possible he may have requested something different, I think it's just as likely episode 1 of season 6 could be as big as a previous mid-season climax. We already know from Billy there's 2 huge fights in this episode.
Because the guy said they were selling season 6 as the biggest and baddest, and it really is so far. Just out of the gun, the scripts are insane. The fight, like the first episode has a mega fight, 2 huge mega fights, but they're really meaningful.
Considering that Bob wrote it, I think it's fair to assume this is a really big episode 1. Also, if you saw my video on the season length, you know that season 6 will have 15 episodes. He could easily be writing 3 episodes this season, and if episode 1 is a big one, it makes sense for him to write it. So this is important information. They also gave us a snippet of dialogue. It's from Dimitri. Take a look.
Victorious dojos are immortalized, and for individual competitors, the sky's the limit.
But before we throw our hats into the mat,
There's one thing we need to do. Decide our dojo name.
Okay, there's a little bit to unpack in that. First, it's worth pointing out that in my stream, Hayden did confirm that this line is actually in the episode, so it's not something made up for this promo. So that's good to know. What can we figure out from it? Well, obviously he's talking about the Sekai Taikai. Clearly, that is the focus for Season 6, and the show is making that known up front. Is there anything we can learn about the Sekai Taikai from this? Well, not a whole lot, but a little logic helps. He opens by saying victorious dojos are immortalized. Well, right off the bat, he's talking about victorious dojos. Then he says for individual competitors, the sky is the limit. This seems to confirm what I essentially predicted in my video on the Sekai Taikai. It's a really good one that you don't want to miss. What he's doing is he's distinguishing between the dojo and the fighters in the dojo. But notice something very important. He says victorious dojos. He didn't say winner, as in one person is the winner. No, the entire dojo is the winner. This is important because the biggest discussion you see with Season 6 is who will win the Sekai Taikai? Miguel, Robbie, Sam? No, the whole dojo is the winner. It's like a sports team. If you look up who won NBA championships in the 90s, you'd see that the Chicago Bulls won a lot of the championships. That's not to say Michael Jordan wasn't the key player. It's not that Jordan didn't win championships. He led the team to victory. But in the end, it's the team that won. The team was immortalized, and for individual players like Michael Jordan, the sky, or in his case, the air, was the limit. This is what I was saying in my video. The dojo will win the Sekai Taikai. Individuals will have an important role, obviously, but you shouldn't think about it as a sort of, will Robbie or Miguel win the tournament? Or the others, Sam should win because she got cheated at the All Valley. Or maybe Tori should win because she deserves to have a clean, fair win. That's not it. None of those. They're together. They're teammates. Their dojo should win. The individuals will all help carry the day. The dojo qualified as a unit, and that's how the tournament will be. So while it's just one line, it is very revealing in how things will play out. He also mentions the need for a dojo name. Obviously, this moment from Season 5 will now play out with the students as well. I do suspect that's who he's talking to. Maybe they pitched some ideas for a dojo name. It probably won't be resolved in this scene, however. Maybe not even in this episode. It depends on what it will all actually be. It is possible the title of episode 1 will be the ultimate dojo name, or something about the dojo name. But that is speculation and unlikely at that. It's not like Obstaculus was actually called Eagle Fang Karate, which might have been a better name for that episode, looking back on it. So that is pretty helpful. Now, is there anything else we can learn from this video? Well, we can't get a complete count on how many pages the script is. I would say it looks to be about normal length, that is around 30 pages or so for a half-hour show. It's probably running a little bit more, maybe 34? Clearly episode 1 isn't that extra long, but that is something we expected all along. This moment is interesting. I think this is after they finished. Notice Peyton pushed her script aside. She wasn't even looking at it. But also notice Tanner's script is between them. Did Tori and Robbie have some scenes together and they shared a script? Maybe a lovey-lovey sort of scene. You know, something like this or this or this. You can feel certain there will be some moments between these two in the first episode. They've come a long way since the table read for Season 3. Back then, Ralph posted an innocent picture of a script, and I was able to dissect a lot of info from it. The titles of the first 2 episodes, and many of the characters who would appear in the beginning of the episode. But obviously, we can't see through this script. They learned their lesson. So that seems to be about it. Whoa, wait a minute. Stop. Go back. No, not too far. Ahead. There. Well, look at that. Mary is reading her script right in front of us. Of course, it's upside down, but we can go ahead and fix that. Ah, much better. Okay, now what can we see? Let's look at the scene location. Sure looks like XT. So I would say that's definitely exterior Miyagi-Do Dojo. Well, now, as you know, the Miyagi-Do Dojo has a lot of outside locations. The front, the back, wherever. It looks like this specifies the sparring deck. So one of the first scenes in Season 6 will be taking place right here at the new sparring deck. Now, unfortunately, we can't see the first word. I do think it says, and plays over something. It's worth noting they do often specify specific songs to play, so it could be music that's playing for a montage, or maybe it's something else. Now, who's in this scene? If we look further down, I'm pretty sure we can make out this word as Dimitri. That makes sense from what we saw here. He was giving a line. And then going back, the word is cut off, but I think this is WK, which would make this Hawk and Dimitri. Walk. That word is walk. Walk somewhere. Now let's go back to the middle line. That has something interesting. You can clearly make out the word karate. Karate something. What is that? It looks like a C. Karate committee? No, that doesn't fit. Karate commerce? Well, that's funny. Certainly the Valley does rely a lot on karate commerce. But no, not that either. Karate something. Actually, what's interesting is that the words appear to be in capital letters. Usually if something is in capital letters in a script, it'd be an important sign or something visual on the screen. Or the first time any character appears in a script, that character's name is capitalized. What if this is a person? Actually, how about Karate Commissioner? That actually kind of looks like it fits. And here, Hawk and Dimitri walk with him. There you go. So the rest of this line is probably just a shorter description of who the guy is. Not really important, as the character doesn't even have a proper name. It's clearly not someone of significance. Hawk and Dimitri are walking with the Karate Commissioner. As for the dialogue, I would say this is Dimitri's line. This is the dojo. I really can't make anything else out here, except I do think this could be karate tournament. So maybe they're at the sparring deck, showing the dojo and giving some sort of tour to the Karate Commissioner, and this is where they trained for the tournament. Maybe. This looks like a Hawk line, but can't make it out. Seriously, Netflix needs to use the 8K cameras. We're missing out here. That's mostly what I can see. At the top it says Cobra Kai 601, and over here it says White. Now you may wonder what White is. It's not the actual secret title or anything. When a show is in production, each copy of the script is assigned a color. That's because they will likely rewrite the script while they're shooting, and as it's changing, everyone needs to make sure they're on the right draft. This is actually the standard order of colors. It begins with white as the initial draft. So this whole thing looks like it says White Production Draft, and it has the date of the script. Those are hyphens. Each subsequent draft would have the next color in line and the new date of that draft. So that's what we can make out, all courtesy of Mary leaving her script open to be filmed like that. Thank you, Mary. Did I ever tell you Sam was one of my favorite characters? A real delight to watch. Otherwise, that's what we know. Hawk and Dimitri are apparently walking the dojo with some karate commissioner. I suppose the line of Dimitri we hear comes shortly after this scene of them walking. Maybe they were talking to the commissioner and learned more about the Sekai Taikai. Also, since we know it's early in the episode, I would say this is right after whatever the opening teaser is. That is this is the scene just after the Cobra Kai logo comes on screen. Does Ron have resentment towards the Karate Commissioner? What do you think of all this? Are you excited for Season 6? Let me know and be sure to check out all my videos on it. I have good theories and I want to hear yours as well. Have a great day. I'll see you at the next watch party.